Welcome back, everyone. Thank you for joining me again. We're still in Kootenay National Park. If you were with me earlier today, we were at Marble Canyon and Paint Pots doing the trail there. But later on today, the same day still, I am at a place called Juniper Sinclair, and I'm doing this little local hike to the village I'm staying in, which is called Radium Hot Springs. And so it's actually going to be just over 9 kilometers long, this whole trail. But it's on the way again to where I'm staying in Radium Hot Springs. I actually went and checked into my hostel first and then figured, you know what, there's still some daylight. Let's go back out and do another hike. So here I am. So you can see I'm slowly ascending up the mountain here, and down at the bottom left you can see the main road that I came in on, and there's also the parking lot there too. You can see the cars there parked. So it's a very easy place to get to. It's one of these scenic routes that you can literally just pull over and then go enjoy it and go and hike it. It's very, very accessible. You can see it's actually quite busy because this is the main road here that goes into the village of where I'm staying. So essentially what's going on right now is I'm on the Juniper Sinclair Loop. That's the name of the trail. And I'm just ascending up the mountainside. So you can see it's a nice little narrow path. And it's just a very gradual incline up the mountain. It's not very steep like some of the trails I've done before. This is a very nice gradual incline. So we're slowly just going up the mountain now. We're kind of almost up in an open meadow area as well. You can see, yep, there. So there above us, you can see how the trail just gradually ascends up the mountain. And that sun is still bright and beautiful. It's a very, very clear, very lovely, warm day. And that's why I figured, I'm like, hey, I went and checked into the hostel. I still have some beautiful sunshine left. I got tons of trails that need to be trekked, so I might as well just get back out there and go again. Like I said, this one's going to be just over 9K, so I'm hoping I can do this one in about 2.5 hours. And that'll give me plenty of time to finish the trail before the sun sets. So you can see how this narrow trail is just kind of snaking. Look, you can see back there, the way it just kind of snakes up the side of the mountain here. And we call those a series of switchbacks. And these are very long switchbacks, which make it even easier to ascend up the very mild incline. So I'm just going to give you a nice peek of the valley here. You see the mountains. Very calm, quiet kind of day, except when you hear the cars going by on the road. You see here we're just ascending the mountain still. We're still on the side of it, and what this trail does is it just loops around the mountain. So we're going to start at one side of the mountain. We don't really get to the peak of it. We don't really go on top of it. We're just kind of staying on the edge of it, which is kind of cool because then as long as we stay on the edge here on the trail, we get to see the surrounding area. It's a really beautiful area. I mean, I guess there's not too much scenic views compared to some of the other hikes we may do, but it's also just a very nice, peaceful hike. And even though it's off of the main road going into Radium Hot Springs, it still kind of gives you a piece of that distance away from the hotel or the hostel or away from the city. And it's essentially just in the backyard of Radium Hot Springs, and you still get that nice feel of almost not quite backcountry hiking, but just getting out into nature. And I mean, of course, that's the Rockies. You're going to find that anywhere here, but it's so close because I'm maybe a 20-minute drive from where I'm staying. So it's just nice and close, very accessible, and just gorgeous. All right, so what you're seeing here, the reason why I wanted to come show you this, is you're actually looking at the Columbia River Valley, which is why this trail is actually quite famous, because it gives you this really nice, beautiful view of the valley. And just off, you follow the road down off to the left is where I'm staying in Radium Hot Springs. But this is called the Columbia River Valley. So essentially at this point, we've kind of reached what we would call the summit of the mountain. And we're just going to continue to follow the loop around the mountain and descend down a series of switchbacks. It's going to take us through a bit of a rocky corridor. And surprise, at the end, we're going to get to see something very, very gorgeous. And it's called the Sinclair Falls. And it's just a rushing waterfall that's really just nestled in so comfy and cozy, like at the bottom of this mountain. So again, there's the Columbia River Valley, and then you follow the road to the left and it'll take you into Radium Hot Springs. So essentially this loop around the mountain is called the Sinclair Canyon. We're going around the canyon so we can get down into the waterfalls. So now you can see I've reached the other side of the mountain. I'm starting to do my descend. When we first started the trek, I was ascending up the side of the mountain. I've gone through that open meadow, which we can kind of call, the summit of the mountain. Now we're going to start heading down through a series of very, very easy switchbacks. You can hear the road, the carts on the road. All right, so at this point we are pretty far back on the mountain, on the other side of the mountain, the opposite side of the mountain from where we started. And we're getting closer and closer to essentially the Columbia River Valley. That's where we're going to be. And we're just, like I said, we're coming around the Sinclair Canyon loop and we're going to make our way down. So we're still on the descend, but this trail is actually quite easy, I want to say, because we're descending, but it's still relatively flat. And it is thanks to the series of switchbacks that give that gradual decline or incline along the mountainside. Kind of give you a nice view here. So that's the main road down below. You can see how far up the mountain we've climbed. Again, we can see the road there. And we're not up too high either. And it didn't even seem like we went up that high because the switchbacks were so gradual. It was just a nice steady incline, very easy to do. And it's a really nice evening stroll almost. Like, of course, I would consider it a hike. You might break a sweat, especially on a day like this when it's so warm and sunny. But it's a very easy hike to do. Nice stroll in the evening.
Oh, that's just me.
Just making a stupid joke. You see this gradual decline of switchbacks, but it doesn't even look like we're going down because it's just such a nice steady decline. It's very easy. It's very nice. It's great for an evening stroll. Again, there's our road as we make our way around the Sinclair Canyon. That mountain gradient in the back is gorgeous.
Heading down to the waterfall. I can hear it. I can hear it.
So at this point, I'm sure you can also hear the water.
See the river flow a little bit. I certainly hear it. Onwards and forwards.
I definitely get very excited when I hear rushing water, being a bit of a water bug myself. So there it is. So this is, it's called the Sinclair Falls. So we're doing the loop around the Sinclair Canyon, and now we're making our way down to the Sinclair Falls. And like I said, it's like a nice little rushing waterfall just nestled at the bottom of this mountain. Oh, look at that. The sound of the water. It's so relaxing to me. I love it. So of course, I'm going to continue to follow the trail around a little bit more, take us further up the waterfall. And it's just a nice little stream here at the bottom. You can see it's quite narrow, but the water is rushing. So that shows me and tells me that the waterfall is nearby. I do know that I can't get quite the perfect view of it from this trail, but I'm going to keep going up as much as I can so you can see the waterfall. The reason why we can't see it too well is because it's nestled around the canyon loop at the back here. So you can see how it's kind of falling off of the water on the right-hand bottom side there. The water's falling off the rocks there. So that's about as far as I can get for the waterfall. I'm going to move in a little bit more, let you take it all in. So that's it. That's the amazing Sinclair Loop nestled in the backyard of the Radium Hot Springs village where I'm staying in the Columbia River Valley. So just to kind of give you some quick stats about it, the whole trail just there one way is 5.8 kilometers. So you do have to do an out and back, which is going to take you about 11.6 kilometers, which is not too bad. It's a pretty easy hike. The average elevation gain that I did was 341 meters. Like, again, it's not a very steep incline. And my total moving time was 2 hours and 17 minutes. So that kind of shows you that it's actually a pretty easy hike, even though you have a series of switchbacks. So I hope you guys enjoyed this nice little waterfall nestled in the backyard of Radium Hot Springs. And as always, keep on trekking.